Good morning, children. I welcome you all for the revision class of Resources Chapter Geography. Let's see. Today we are discussing about the conservation of resources. Discussing about conservation of resources. It means conserving resources. Let's see the definition of conserving resources. Here see, using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed is called resource conservation. You have to use the resources carefully, and in the same way you have to give some time for the resources to get them renewed or replenished. Such kind of thing is called resource conservation. That is called what? Resource conservation. Now the second definition is sustainable development. What is sustainable development? Balancing the need to use resources. Of course, we are using resources, but we need to balance them. We should not use them elaborately or in an exploitative manner. So you need to balance the use of resources, and also you need to conserve them for future. At a time, we should not utilize all the resources. You have to conserve them for future. For example, forests, at a time you will not use them, no? You will keep some forests or some trees for future sake. And also the water in the dam also cannot be used at a time. So you use the water for different purposes at different times. Likewise, you need to conserve them for future also. That's called what? Sustainable development. Now there are some ways for the conserving resources. Let's see here. First one is resource consumption, reducing consumption. You have to reduce consumption of resources. Means what? For example, while you're taking bath, you just take one bucket of water. Instead, some people they open the tap and they keep on using the water, flowing water. Or some people they use shower bath. They take shower bath. So that consumes much amount of water. So in order to reduce that, you have to use a single bucket of water for bathing. That's called reducing consumption. Next one, recycling. For example, all the metals, no, iron, gold, silver, all the metals we can recycle by melting them. Next one, reusing. So water also, which we are using in cooking, during cooking, no, we'll wash the vegetables and all, we'll wash the rice. And the restroom water, it means what? No, the water which you use for bathing. So that water you can use it for watering the garden. Likewise, you can reduce consumption of resources, recycle the metals, and reusing. So that's ultimately called 3 R's. So 1 R is reduce consumption, recycle the metals, and reuse again and again. You should use resources again and again. Next, here the future of our planet and its people is linked with both the ability to maintain and preserve the life supporting system. For example, the earth is our planet. We live on the earth. So our future and the people on the earth future also is linked with what, children? Its ability to maintain and preserve. We have to maintain the resources and we should preserve them for future sake. Okay, na? Preserve them for future sake because they support the life in the future. Okay, na? Those things will be provided by whom, children? Nature only. Whatever things which you use now are given by the nature, of course. So you need to preserve them for future sake purpose, children, future purpose. So that's why it is our duty to ensure that all the renewable resources are sustainable. For example, solar energy, wind energy are all sustainable. But even then, you have to use them in a limited manner. Example, I told you, no, water. We should not waste water. So turn off the tap when it is not in use. Next, the diversity of life on earth is conserved. The diversity, it comes means what, children? The variety of wildlife, birds, insects, everything. So the diversity of life on earth should be conserved. We should not harm any any living being. Next one, the damage to natural environment system is minimized. We have to minimize the damage of environmental system. It means, for example, anyhow we are damaging the environment by polluting. For example, the industries the factories, the buses which we travel, or the cars, bikes which we use for transporting or traveling, they emit some smoke. That smoke may cause damage to the environment. Instead, if you use the public transport for traveling from here to Hyderabad instead of traveling in a car, it ensures that minimizing the environmental damage. Okay, na? That's what. Now here see, in the textbook they have given some of the principles for the sustainable development. Let's see what are those. The first principle is respect and care for all forms of life. You need to respect and care for all forms of life. No, so not only trees, not only animals, even the insects also, because they have their own role in maintaining the or in balancing the ecosystem. Next one, improve the quality of human life. If you do so, if you take care of all those life forms, then it improves the quality of human life. Next, it conserves the earth's vitality and diversity. If you do so, if you care for all the forms of life, it conserves the earth's vitality and diversity also. Different variety of animals, birds, everything exists on the earth. Otherwise, no, they extinct. Next, if you care for all the life forms, children, it minimizes the depletion of natural resources. So if you use the resources judiciously, it minimizes the depletion of natural resources. Next one, change personal attitude and practices towards the environment. I told you, no, instead of taking shower bath, if you take bath with the help of one bucket of water, you can minimize the use of water. So in that way, you can change your personal attitudes and practices towards the environment. And the last but not least is enable communities to take care for their own environment. For example, the tribal people who are living in the forest, they take care of those forests in that areas. So in that way, we can take care of the environment in our local communities. So these are some of the principles of sustainable development. Children, with this I conclude this chapter. Now what you'll do is, all of you frame important points and you learn them. So read the textbook thoroughly from every page, even extracts, even the glossary, even the principles of sustainable development definitions, everything you go through, children, carefully. And once again, you just read the text lectures also and question answers. Okay. So that's all out there. Today's class is ended with this. Okay. Bye, children. All the best.